So today is April Fool's Day. So how would you sign that? Well, the most common sign for that is gotcha, right? It looks like, looks like you're hitting someone. You are hitting someone, right? But gotcha, April Fool's Day. So that's how you would sign that. Instead of saying April Fool's Day, April Fool's Day, that's kind of a gotcha. You could do trick, like that, but this is mostly April Fool's Day. So most people do that to like play a trick on someone, and then they'll say, oh, April Fool's, right? They don't have to do April Fool's. Most people know that, but if someone doesn't know, or if it's new to you or that person, then you can spell it out and do the sign for that, and that's how you establish or show someone a new sign. Is you spell it, you do the sign, and you spell it again. So you're teaching someone a new sign. So what else for April? So I got all kinds of stuff that I'm doing for April. So and so I was trying to think about what the most common, or sometimes not most common. And one of the things that I thought was interesting is Guide Dog Day. And so you could do that two different ways as well. You could do guide, where this is the hand you do not write with, and it's just there, and the one you write with grabs it and pulls it. That's to guide, or to lead. So, and then you can do your dog. So it's either snapping your fingers, or it's hitting your leg and then snapping your fingers. So Guide Dog Day. But also you could do it the second way is, how have you seen people use a guide dog? They usually have their hands on their harness, right? And they're pulling it. So if you've already discussing about a guide dog, then you could do guide dog. You're grabbing hold of the harness, and then they're being, led. So that's a good one. Here's another one that has a couple signs, and it's Siblings Day. So siblings is what? Brothers and sisters. So there's two different ways, and sometimes you might just have a preference, but I have a preference, brothers and sisters. So brothers, this is brother, or you could have your hands in an L hand shape, brothers. So this is brother. And this is sister, because it really starts from this, right? Brother, brother, and then sister, it starts like this, but it comes out like this, sister. So if you want to put multiple on there, so you have brothers and sisters day, siblings day, or some people will put their hand kind of like in an I love you type of shape, or and it's this, and they're not saying I love you, but they're saying that because they're including both the brother and the sister, right? So they're just including all of them in one sign. So you could do it that way. It's more of an I love you, but it's brother and sister. They're just including all of it. You see the difference? So it's just a preference. And so when I meant, let's go back for dog, because you could do it a couple of different ways. I mean, 4 different ways actually. So you could pat your leg and snap your fingers. That's one way. The second way is to snap your fingers and pat your leg. The third way to do it is to snap your fingers. And the fourth way is to pat your leg. So that's 4 different ways to do dog, but just for information to do dog. So dog, 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 dog. So you could do that. And so here's another one that comes up in the springtime. Another sign is Passover. And there's two signs that I see for Passover. And this is more of a Jewish holiday, but Christians also recognize it. So Passover can be done in a couple of different ways. So one is very English and the other one is more culturally, more Jewish in that respect, because it's a sign for cracker. And why would it be the sign for cracker? Because they had the unleavened bread and it has the matzah, pieces like a cracker. They're thin and they're dry. I don't know if you've ever had any. But go into the store where it has like international food or whatever, and you can see the matzah crackers. And I don't know, they're just like regular size crackers, but they're they're dry and very thin. And so that Passover, because they had the unleavened bread, and that's what they eat, is the matzah crackers. Now the second way is very English in my opinion, but it has like your left hand is doing nothing and then your right hand is in a K hand shape. But it goes down like a P and then it crosses over, right? You pass over. Pass over. Because you don't want to be drawing, I guess, a bunch of blood on a doorway or whatever. But those are the two signs that are accepted for Passover. I do both and I've seen both. And so you just be accepting of whatever they use for Passover. And so for Easter, there's a couple of different ways too. And there's a preference that I have, and there's a preference, and I think that's one that they teach children. So Easter has the indication of Sunday because it happens on a Sunday. So in the South, this is Sunday. But in other areas, it's Sunday, right? But we always touch, which means experience in the South. So that's Sunday, right? So for Easter, we put our hands in an E hand shape and go in the same direction, the same way as you would do Sunday, because you're wiping the windows of the church, basically, the stained glass windows. And so Easter is your E hand shape and going in the same direction for Easter. Now, the second way that they teach some people, and I guess different areas, and it seems like they teach that to children, but then they grow up, right, is Easter. I have seen that when I was working in elementary school, but I haven't seen it in a long time. And I just prefer this one for Easter because it's for Sunday, right? But Easter is acceptable too. It depends on where it is. Like I said, when you talk to deaf people and you do a sign, or if they have a quizzical look on their face, you can spell it, and then they can show you the sign that they use for that. And so I think those work the best. So I think those are the ones that I wanted to do. Oh, there's Earth Day that's coming up in a couple of weeks. So, and we can do more Earth Day signs later. But you have your left hand is your globe, so to speak. And then your right hand with your middle finger and your thumb is going to go on to, one's going to touch on this side and one's going to touch this side. And it goes back and forth because the earth rotates, right? So this is Earth. So Earth Day. Earth Day. Sometimes you can get away, you do world, you can do world or the earth. If you're talking about things are dotting the earth, all the fires or whatever, you can do that, make a globe. So, but this is the sign for Earth. So, and I think that is, Pets Day. So, I think there is several different ways to do pets, but most people do it the same way as you're petting. So your left hand is the animal and your right hand is petting it. And most people have a cat, or you could do a cat, but this is the original sign, but you can get away with just one with you're pulling the whiskers, right? So that's cat. Some people will do a K handshake for kitten. And then you could do the different pets, right? So we did cat, dog, bird. You know, if you did a gerbil, you have to spell that, because I don't know if there's a sign. You have a mouse, you have a snake. What other little, you know, bunny, those different kind of animals that you would have for a pet. So I think that's why we just pet it, because you could have, there's a whole slew of pets you can have, but the most common, you know, is a cat or a dog. But, you know, many people, my aunt always had a bird. She liked bird, and then later they got a dog. So you just never know what people have for their pets. You know, they may have those, you know, lizards, and my son had a lizard and a bird. So you're gonna have different, you know, animals for your pets. But so that's why pet day, or you can do cat and dog day. It's the same thing, right? Pet day. So anyway, so it's kind of short, and it's kind of a truncated of the big days that are this month, and we'll discuss more of that coming up for April. But for today, it's April Fool's Day. I'll see you later. Practice. Bye.